Welcome to the channel of NZ Justice 111. This is episode 8 in the series, The Names of Who Corrupt New Zealand and What They Don't Want You to Know. Without further delay, here we go. In the last episode, you learned that Lisa had filed New Zealand Law Society complaints against her former barrister, Warren Simpson, and her former professional trustee, Christopher Lynch. Shortly after these complaints were filed, Lisa, in early June of 2009, found one of the fully signed prenups in her letterbox. Due to this, the New Zealand Law Society was informed and thereafter threw out Lisa's complaint against Warren Simpson. The complaint against Christopher Lynch was later also thrown out. NZ Justice 111 does not want to spend much time on the New Zealand Law Society's unlawful protection of these two corrupt barristers, but to prove Lisa was falsely accused by Warren Simpson, this channel shows you the following evidence. After Lisa's complaint against Warren Simpson was thrown out, she applied to the Legal Complaints Review Officer, or LCRO for short. To learn more about the LCRO, just go to this channel's series on the New Zealand Law Society. On the 23rd of June 2010, the LCRO found in favour of Lisa and against Warren Simpson and the New Zealand Law Society's Standards Committee, who threw out Lisa's complaint. Here is the first screenshot of the decision, which confirms Simpson was found to be the last person in possession of the two original prenuptial agreements. The applicant is Lisa and the practitioner is Simpson. Here is a second screenshot of another part in the decision where it is confirmed Lisa incurred legal fees trying to prove the fully signed prenup existed before finding one of the original agreements in her letterbox. And here is the third screenshot of the decision recording Lisa being awarded $1,940 compensation, with Warren Simpson being censured. For those of you who do not know what censure means, put simply, it is a serious warning. Simpson was also ordered to pay costs towards the running of the LCRO hearing. Notice who the LCRO ordered Warren Simpson to pay. The New Zealand Law Society, who threw out Lisa's complaint in the first place and who she proved was wrong for doing so. As for the $1,942 Lisa was awarded, Simpson simply refused to pay her. She was then advised to file another complaint against Simpson at the New Zealand Law Society for his refusal to pay. The unjust treatment of Lisa by the Society just continued. Now that NZ Justice 111 has shown you the proof that Lisa was falsely accused by dishonest barrister Warren Simpson, let's see what Senior Sergeant did after finding out Lisa had found one of his and Lisa's fully signed prenups in her letterbox. After Rice Craig had told Senior Sergeant to find another law firm, as you saw in the last episode, he hired barrister Janice Harland, who, on the 10th of September 2009, assisted Senior Sergeant to breach the legally binding agreement by filing a claim in court using the Property Relationships Act against not only Lisa, but her mother Rose as well. What appears to have conveniently escaped Barrister Harland's attention, given she is such an experienced family court barrister regarding prenups, is the fact that her client and Lisa signed a prenup whereby they both agreed not to use the Property Relationships Act in court against each other if they ever separated. It is as legally simple as that. Not only was the claim filed into the family court against Lisa grossly unlawful, as it defied a legally binding document, the claim against Lisa's mother Rose was equally as unlawful, as the Property Relationships Act only applies to spouses, husband and wives, and de facto or civil union partners, and Rose certainly did not fall into any of these legal categories, and Janice Harland, being a highly experienced family court barrister, would have and still would be fully aware of this. After this unlawful claim was made against Lisa and Rose, and after the Bank of New Zealand had entrapped Lisa's trust, as you saw in the last episode, Lisa and Rose decided to sell the trust property. This decision was made to, at the very least, release Rose's $134,000, which she had loaned her daughters and Senior Sergeant's respective trusts, as you saw in episode 5. Senior Sergeant found out about the sale and immediately contacted his barrister, Janice Harland, who on the 18th of November 2009 sent a demanding letter to Lisa. Let's go through this letter together. There are presently proceedings in the family court, the substance of which is that our client disputes whether there is a contracting out agreement in force, and therefore all property is relationship property. Dispute eliminated. The letter goes on to state that Senior Sergeant wants loans repaid. So let's see what these alleged loans are, shall we? The $20,000. Loaned to Lisa's trust by Senior Sergeant in February of 2005 and repaid back to him the same year by Lisa's trust on the 10th of October, as proven in episode 3. The $30,144. This is the short-term loan Senior Sergeant borrowed off the Bank of New Zealand to redecorate his own home for sale, and also spent on, but not limited to, mortgage payments for his home, as you saw in episode 4. And last but by no means least, the $18,882 and the $155,453. This is the sale proceeds of Senior Sergeant's home forwarded to Lisa's trust under the false claims of Senior Sergeant and Christopher Lynch that the money was being forwarded to begin a profit-sharing agreement between Senior Sergeant's trust and Lisa's trust. As you have seen throughout the series, Senior Sergeant and Lynch had no intentions of this profit-sharing agreement ever coming into effect. As for Barrister Harlan's letter, what is not recorded is the fact that her client defrauded Lisa's trust out of tens of thousands of dollars during his relationship with Lisa, as this channel exposed in episode 5. After Barrister Harlan sent this letter to Lisa, she then started demanding, on behalf of her client, that Lisa and Rose hand over copies of a large amount of legal documents. The documents requested could not be found by Lisa and Rose for the simple fact that corrupt Barrister Lynch was hiding the very files that the documents were held on. 13 files to be exact. You will see proof of Lynch's criminal conduct very shortly. Towards the end of 2010, Lisa's lawyer advised that due to how complex her and her mother Rose's legal situation was getting, Lisa should hire a barrister. While Lisa was searching for a barrister, Senior Sergeant's barrister, again, was unlawfully assisting her client to breach the terms of the prenup by using the Property Relationships Act to file an application into the court whereby Senior Sergeant fraudulently claimed Lisa's trust owed him loans close to $250,000. This being the same fraudulent loans recorded in Barrister Harlan's letter to Lisa in November of 2009. Senior Sergeant's unlawful application also requested a judge to order Lisa and her mother Rose, as trustees for Lisa's trust, to repay Senior Sergeant his loans out of the sale proceeds of the trust property if it's sold. In early 2011, Lisa found and hired Barrister Sandy Bailey, who turned out to be just as corrupt as Barristers Lynch and Harlan. Watch what happened next. On the 16th of March 2011, Lisa's new barrister, Sandy Bailey, sent, but not limited to, a letter to Christopher Lynch requesting he release all files belonging to Lisa and her trust. This type of letter is called an authority to uplift. On the 24th of March, Christopher Lynch wrote back to Lisa's barrister and admitted he was still holding 8 files for Lisa's trust and 5 of Lisa's. These files should have already been released by Lynch 2 years prior, after he had received an authority to uplift from Lisa's lawyer, as you saw in the last episode. True to form, Lynch deceitfully kept these files without Lisa's lawyer knowing. Not only did corrupt Barrister Lynch admit to still holding these files, he even asked Lisa to pay his law firm to photocopy the documents held on the files, and even worse, refused to release the files until the New Zealand Law Society complaint filed against him by Lisa had been dealt with. No law firm is legally entitled to do this, especially if the documents are required by people involved in court proceedings. Neither Lisa, her mother Rose, or Lisa's trust owed any money to Lynch's law firm and Lynch. And did Barrister Sandy Bailey inform her new client, Lisa, of what corrupt Barrister Lynch was unlawfully doing behind her and her mother Rose's back? The simple answer is no. You will see absolute proof of this in the next episode, as well as proof of Sandy Bailey assisting Janice Harland and Senior Sergeant to obtain judgments against her own client Lisa and her mother Rose. A day after Lynch sent his letter to Sandy Bailey, and in support of Senior Sergeant's fraudulent claim in court, Lynch on the 25th of March 2011 swore an affidavit. There are countless lies recorded in Christopher Lynch's affidavit, but we are going to focus on the most serious lie of all. As NZ Justice 111 exposed to you in episode 5, Lynch never completed Rose's loan document, which protected her $134,000 that she had lent in 2006 to Lisa and Senior Sergeant's respective trusts. To hide this fact, Lynch took from his files Rose's original half-signed loan document, photocopied it, and put it back on his files. He then, with his affidavit, used the photocopy of the loan document, which in legal terms is called a deed of acknowledgement of debt, to fraudulently claim on oath that the original of the photocopy deed had been fully signed and uplifted with files, when the original was still sitting at Lynch's law firm, still only half signed. And how does NZ Justice 111 know this corrupt individual did this? Because he was caught 2 years later in a High Court trial by Rose and Lisa with this original half-signed deed in his possession, which is an exact match to the photocopy of the deed Lynch used for his 2011 affidavit. This now ends episode 8. Watch out for episode 9, which will be exposing even more names involved in this heinous financial crime that saw Lisa and her mother Rose's entire life savings be stolen by corrupt barrister Christopher Lynch and a very cunning fraudster that hides behind a police badge, Senior Sergeant. Until next time, keep safe.